Hey, 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 it is an unstoppable day. It's your boy, your life accountability coach, Terrance, the unstoppable Coach Leffridge, with Unstoppable Thoughts by Coach Terrance. And we're doing part 3 of the series, How to Trump the Competition and Gain Exposure for Your Business. Now, if you missed the first 2 parts of this video series, then you can just go to my page on Facebook, Unstoppable Thoughts by Coach Terrance, and catch those other 2 videos. In the first video, we talked about how your book is the new business card, and if you use it effectively, it's going to help you gain exposure for your business. It's going to help you get credibility, help you be seen as an expert as well as an authority, and open up new doors for you to have speaking engagements and be interviewed on radio and TV, as well as helping you with other events that you want to do in the future. The second thing we talked about was creating your own shows. What we're doing right now on Facebook Live, this could be considered your own show. It's my own video series, in Unstoppable Thoughts by Coach Terrance, and each and every week I come to you with an inspirational, motivational, or educational video to help you move to the next level of your greatness. It's just one of the many ways where you can use the internet, use technology that exists today to create your own shows instead of waiting on local or network TV or radio to pick you up and bring you in as a guest or bring you in hosting your own show. Better to create your own show than to wait for someone to give you a show. So today we're going to be talking about even another level, the next level after you have wrote your book and your book is now your business card, and now you've had the ability to create your own shows on radio or TV or internet TV. Now we want you to move towards creating your own conferences, creating your own seminars, creating your own workshops. Again, with the advent of the internet and social media and all the technology tools that are simple and easy to do, creating your own events has gotten so much easier and so much cost effective than it ever has been before. So I'm going to talk about 2 different types of ways to create your own event, and then we're going to get off. And then if you want a deeper conversation with me, then you can email me at terrance@unstoppablecoaching.com, and we'll have a discovery session on how you can trump the competition and gain exposure for your business. So I want to talk to you about virtual events first and foremost. Virtual events is where you do an event via telephone or via a webinar. They are so simple, so easy to do. All you really need is a phone, a smartphone, a typical smartphone, and a phone number, and you can set up a teleconference or a telesummit. Now, your teleconference can be anywhere as short as a half hour all the way up to a 3-day teleconference event if you wanted to do that. I wouldn't suggest more than that because unless your content is strong and unless you have enough content that's going to warrant people staying with you through longer than a 3-day period, then I would suggest you just keep it kind of small. But you do it just like this. You set up a conference number. And you can go to the number that I use, the service that I use, freeconferencecall.com. freeconferencecall.com. They will set you up with a free conference call account, which gives you a number, which gives you access to an international number, and you can have up to 5 to 25 people participating on the call at one time, but you can have up to 50 listeners listening active. So they may not be an active participant on the call, but they can be listening to the call. A great way to get started with sharing your content, especially if you are a coach, especially if you are a speaker, or if you have a service or product that you want to share content with. That teleconference number is golden, and it gives you the ability to build a following all in one place, in one space in which you control. Too many times, if you're trying to go on local radio or local TV, you've got to deal with outside producers, outside guests. You've got to deal within the restraints of the radio station or the TV station, and it always doesn't work in your favor. But with a teleconference call number, you control who gets on the call, you control who has access to the call, and you control the content of the call. So it is a great low-cost way to get started with sharing your message and putting your service out there. And then after the teleconference, the next stage or the next level of expertise that will get you out there and get you exposed for your business and trump the competition is the webinar, the video webinar. So now the video webinar is going to require a little bit more information. Jeff, I see you, man. I see you. Can't wait to see your video. I'm going to jump on and do the same things with you. Great. Iron sharpens iron. The webinar requires internet access, requires a webcam, and requires a laptop or desktop computer or a good level tablet that you can utilize to get streaming video. But it works under the same type of technique. You are the webinar host. You control who comes on the webinar. You control the content that comes out through the webinar. Now, there's many different services that you can use to create your webinar, but the one I like is Google Hangouts. And now they're calling it YouTube Live. Google Hangouts, otherwise known as YouTube Live, allows you to host a webinar where you can have up to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people active in your webinar, meaning that you can turn your webcam on and you can be the host, or you can be the person who produced it, or you can turn the controls over to that other person within the webinar, and then they can be the presenter and they can present information. 10 people can be active live in your webinar, but your webinar can go out to anybody in the internet who has access to Google Hangouts. So it is a great way to schedule, again, those one-day virtual conferences, those 3-day virtual conferences. With webinars, you can expand to those 5-day conferences, especially if you've got guest speakers that are going to be talking about something specific to your conference, and you want to be able to showcase them. So if you've got 5 presenters and they're all aligned in with your conference, yeah, then it's great to do a webinar. But you have to make sure that you can get them on the webinar first and foremost, meaning they have a good internet connection, they have a good quality webcam, and they have the time and the space to present on your webinar. Great tool. So you've got the teleconference, then you've got the webinar, and then you've got the granddaddy of them all, which is the in-person conferences. The in-person conferences is where you, just what I said, where you set up a venue and you invite people to come to your conference. And again, it works on the same platform. You control the conference, you control the guests that you have at the conference, you control the speakers that are a part of your conference, you can even control the vendors that you allow to vend at your conference. And that is a very good thing, because vendors are going to be the people that are going to be sponsoring or subsidizing the cost of putting on this conference. I've done 3 conferences now in the past 2 years, and let me tell you, live conferences are not cheap by any stage of the imagination. So if you want to engage in this kind of conference, you want to make sure you've got your finances in order, and you want to make sure that you've got content that is valuable enough and worthy enough that people are going to come out to get the information. Whether you're sponsoring a free conference or whether it's a paid conference, there's still a cost involved. There's usually a cost of the venue. There's usually a cost to get the audio and video equipment there. There's the cost to have food there. There's the cost to set up and break down. There's a cost to set up the vending spaces. There's a cost to set up the materials that you're going to be handing out at the conference. There's a cost to provide materials for people to take notes. All of these things come into play when you're doing a live conference. But now here's some variations on that. You can do a small, intimate retreat. do it at a bed and breakfast, or where you are limiting the number of people to maybe 5 to 10 people. You want it to be intimate so that you can have that time to share your knowledge in an intimate setting where people aren't bombarded with other people and other distractions. The good thing about that is that you really get to spend quality time with your participants at that retreat. And then you can charge a slightly higher price because you're putting now a price on the value of having that intimate one-on-one conversation with you. So you can do the small retreat, you can do the half-day conference where you open it up to a few more people, but you're limiting it to one specific topic. You're getting in, getting out, and getting them just a piece of you, which will then engage them in the opportunity to have a greater conversation with you afterwards. And then you move on to the bigger retreat, bigger conference, bigger venue, whichever way you want to go with that. But in either case, creating your own events is a valuable way for you to get exposed to your target market. It gives you the ability to be seen as an expert in your industry. It shows people that you are an authority and you know what you're doing, and then they're going to be more intrigued about what you're doing and more interested in being a part of what you're doing and participating in the product or service that you are bringing to the market. No longer do you have to depend on other people to get on their shows or to be a part of their broadcasts. Create your own events, create your own niche in the marketplace, and you'll find out that you are trumping the competition and you're gaining the exposure for your business that you want to have, and you are living life on the next level. So that's my time. Again, if you missed the part 1 and part 2 of the Trump the Competition and Gain Exposure for Your Business, go to my Facebook page, Unstoppable Thoughts by Coach Terrance, and you can catch the replays of those 2 informational videos there. But until then, as I like to always say, I want you to learn how to dream big, aim high, and believe in the impossible. And if you follow these techniques that I've shared with you in these 3 videos, you will never, ever, ever again settle for less, because you'll be unstoppable. Don't just make it a great day, make it an unstoppable day. Thanks to guys who have watched live, and hopefully you'll share this and send other people to watch the replay. Don't just make it a great day, make it an unstoppable day. And here's to living your life on the next level.